Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome viewers to another episode of Pathways to Prosperity with me, Ameen Hassen, where we discuss all things finance and everything related to it in an Islamic way. Today, alhamdulillah, we're discussing something that we have come to know as travel insurance, and obviously the Sharia compliant alternative to it. What is travel insurance? Why do we actually need travel insurance? If you're going for Hajj or Umrah, why would you need something like travel insurance when you're going to the holy lands of Makkah and Medina? What is the consequence of not taking out travel insurance? What does it cost? And alhamdulillah, we've got today an expert in the field, Mr. Sedick Isaacs, who's the head of Bryte Takaful, the only Sharia-compliant short-term insurance provider in the country, and also a provider of Sharia-compliant short-term travel insurance. Uncle Sedick, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah to you and our viewers.
Thanks so much for joining us. Uncle Sedick, to start, for some of us who don't understand, what is travel insurance?
So, interestingly, you touched on a couple of points in your intro there in terms of travel insurance. And travel insurance has become a necessity in terms of particularly when you're traveling outside of the country. And the reason for that is our exchange rate. Okay. If you look at the exchange rate today as it stands, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers are very aware of what those exchange rates are, then you will realize that the cover that you have inside South Africa and the cover you have outside South Africa in terms of whether it's illness, whether it's anything to do with when you're traveling, anything gets lost or anything is damaged or there's a delay, the cost of it outside of South Africa is tremendous today in terms of the exchange rate. If you look at 1 rand is 24 rands to a pound. Or you look at a dollar that today stands at about 20 rand to one single dollar. That makes a big difference overseas when you're traveling. And so travel insurance becomes important. Medical aids do extend their covers, but they extend it on the cover that you currently have in South Africa. And of course, when you go on those important journeys, we go with Allah's blessing and we go with Allah's guidance, His protection. But at the same time, things happen. Things do happen, and one gets ill, one gets hurt sometimes even on travels, and those are the times when you need travel insurance. And travel insurance covers various things. It doesn't only cover one thing, and that is because the word travel doesn't give you the full detail of really what it all entails. So it covers medicals, it covers delays of travel if the flights are delayed for a period of time. It covers any loss of luggage, any loss of your personal belongings or your important travel things that you have, like for example your passport. If you lose your passport, it helps you even in those instances. It gives you access to different kinds of people to help you whilst you're away. If you're in another country, you're not very afraid with everything that happens in that country. You got a line into people who can help you immediately, guide you, direct you, and all of that costs money when you're traveling. All of that is covered in terms of a travel insurance policy and more. So it's not just a simple thing of travel insurance. There's a lot more that it entails that is fully covered within that travel insurance. And you have different choices as well.
A lot of people will say that, but if you're traveling to Saudi or Umrah or Hajj or wherever you're traveling, you must put your tawakkul on Allah and everything will be fine. But obviously we know that hadith of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam where he says you must tie your camel. So in your opinion, is travel insurance or takaful that concept of tying your camel?
So 100%, whether we travel for religious purposes or otherwise, we always place our trust in Allah. When we climb on that plane, you make dua, Allah must protect you. Wherever you are, where you land, Allah must protect you in those lands and wherever. And most of the time, we find that we're okay. We come back, and we thank Allah tremendously for His guidance, for His protection. And we always taqdeer in Allah, and whatever He provides is the best provision. However, things do happen, and it happens outside of our control, and sometimes you have to do certain things that where you require things like travel insurance. As I was saying, delays happen, weather happens, and I've been in circumstances where my flights were delayed for 2 days. Travel insurance picks that up. And when you're overseas, it could cost you a lot of money. You know, it's not cheap overseas when you're buying against the rand. So, yes, absolutely, we trust in Allah always. But Allah also trusts in us, that we must make the right decisions. And anything that happens through the mercy of Allah. And so, illness happens through the mercy of Allah for whatever reason. But when you're in a hospital, for example, in the UK, everything is going to cost you 24 times the rand. So all of a sudden, travel insurance makes a lot of sense. We've seen over the years where travel insurance has really been beneficial. For example, one of my colleagues went on a trip to Italy one year. First day that he was on the trip, he broke his leg in 3 places. Cost him 1.5 million rand for 5 days.
In an Italian hospital.
Correct. And so all of a sudden, that travel insurance makes brilliant sense. You know, so yes, we do trust in Allah, but Allah allows us to also tie our own camel in the process, because there are certain things that steps outside of that.
And so how much would travel insurance cost? So typically, how much can our viewers expect to pay for basic travel insurance all the way up to the most extravagant one?
It's not an easy one to answer, because you need to understand first and foremost where you're going, how many people are going, because you get a single package, you get a family package, you get different kinds of package, husband and wife package, and it also depends on how long you're going for. But the one thing I can say to you is, in terms of when one looks at the big picture, in terms of the cover that you're getting versus what you're paying, it is chalk and cheese. In terms of the cover you're getting.
Uncle Sedick.
So I'll give you an example. I was away for now about 12 days, and it cost me 1,800 rand for the top cover, the best cover. And look, I mean, at the end of the day, alhamdulillah, I came back. I didn't need it at all, but I had the comfort, I had the knowledge and the satisfaction that if anything happened, I had full cover and full access.
That cost of 1,800 rand, some high level examples, not everything, I know we don't have enough time to cover all of the cover, but some of the big ticket items that 1,800 rand would cover.
If I can give you just the top limit, your medical limit is 100 million rand. Right? It's in 100 million rand. It gives you other covers in terms of...
So that means I can, if I need to be hospitalized or anything out of the country, I have cover up to the value of 100 million rand.
Absolutely. And it includes, if you're in a hospital, if you need to, it includes traveling, if you need... Because sometimes my colleague, because he broke his leg in 3 places, couldn't sit in a normal seat. They had to put him in first class.
So
and that is covered in terms of that. So
it'll come out of the medical benefit.
Comes out of your medicals, comes out of the full cover and the full package.
So how would one go about doing it, or taking out travel insurance? What's the process?
So look, I mean, most local insurers have the cover. We have the Takaful cover for travel insurance, and it's a matter of contacting a local Bryte Takaful Insurance office, and it's as simple as that. Contact one of our offices, and they'll gladly assist and get the Takaful cover put in place for them.
What makes this Sharia compliant in comparison to conventional insurance? We know that typically many of our viewers may hold the opinion or the mindset that insurance is forbidden and there's no such thing as forbidden. Now we have this concept of Takaful or Sharia compliant insurance. What's the underlying principle that makes this compliant?
So first and foremost, I think the most important thing to understand is that with Takaful Insurance, we have a Sharia board made up of scholars who have the expertise around Islamic finance. That is very important to understand. We operate from a business level, but we have the scholars who have the knowledge. They guide us. They put the necessary regulations from an Islamic perspective in place. And some of the key aspects is, first and foremost, is the elimination of interest riba. That's taken out of the equation completely, because our funds are placed only in Islamic institutions, and it is checked by that Sharia scholars to ensure that it's in an account that bears no interest whatsoever. That's the first thing. The second thing, it removes the uncertainty in terms of the norm where you've got something that is not certain. We remove the uncertainty. The policy documents, the cover that is provided is crystal clear. It is Sharia compliant. It is managed in a Sharia compliant way. It starts out with the Sharia laws, the Sharia compliances, and all the way through it removes anything that is not found in your conventional insurance, which goes against the principles of Islam and against the Sharia. So all round, it removes those things that is in conventional insurance that goes against the grain of Islam and against the grain of the Sharia compliancy.
Uncle Sedick, Jazakallah khair. Thank you, viewers. You've been watching us on Pathways to Prosperity, where we've been discussing travel insurance in a Sharia compliant way. Very, very vital for us, especially when we're traveling. We heard you can get up to 100 million rand in medical cover. So look for the Sharia compliant alternative. Tie your camel so that you're not placed in a situation where you're stranded without enough money for medical assistance or repatriation back to your home. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.